Good morning, everyone. So my name is Kirsten Passmore, and I will be presenting the Unspectacular by an artist known as Emily Ann Peacock. And here's some more information about her. So she's a Houston-based artist. She has her own blog, which I have cited at the end of the presentation. And I was also able to connect with her via our professor, and I found her email, and I was able to ask her some more in-depth questions about her collection and what inspired her. She is a U of H graduate, and she originally wanted to go into criminal justice, but she ended up taking an elective in photography, and she decided that that was her true passion. Alright, so let's go over photography. So it is considered a conceptual art. A conceptual art is when the concept of the piece or the idea, the story behind it is more important than the picture itself. So keep that in mind, because some of these pieces might not always make sense until you hear the story behind them. Alright, so we have the rock lights from 2011. This is the only photograph from 2011. The rest will be from 2010. And I chose this piece in particular because I love how they're all lined up, but they're all different heights and they're different textures. And if you've ever seen one in person, they're really just fascinating in general. And it's also close to my heart because my mom actually collects these sort of lamps. So I thought that was really fun. And we have the multicolored pills. This is 2010. If you look here, you can see there's a red pill, and then you kind of have a yellowish tan one right over here. And it correlates to that bowl, so I thought that was also fun. Now, brace yourself. This next slide is kind of the crazy one. We have a bowl of gumbo. When I first saw this, I wanted to add it to my collection, but I had no idea what that was because it was such a close-up. And it was titled X-Max 2010, and I was like, is this a bowl? Like what is this of? And Emily Ann Peacock was gracious enough to answer my question. So this was really important to her. It was a Christmas tradition. It was made by her grandfather, and she wanted to capture that nostalgia by taking a very big close-up to capture its color and its textures and its chunks. And I have the information here in case y'all want to take any notes. And then we have meat. Thought it was interesting to contrast cooked food with very raw food, and unfortunately there's not much of an explanation behind this one that was given. As you can see from this white railing, it's possibly a fridge shelf, or maybe it was a shelf from the store, and it's simply titled meat. And the next slide, I promise, is not food related. This one is called Winged. And if you look here at her shoulder, it looks like a wing in and of itself because it's so pointed. But then when we really think about it, whenever we draw a person like an angel or a creature with wings, that's exactly where we draw the wings. We draw it at the shoulder blade. So I thought that was super interesting as well. And that closes out the picture side of things, but I want to explain a little bit more about how and why this collection is so important. I asked her, what inspired her to create this. And I'm gonna look at my notes for a moment just so that I can get all the artists that inspired her to create it. So give me one moment. So when I asked her, she said people like Nan Golden and Martin Purr and Richard Billingham were her inspirations. And plus she just thought it was comical. She wanted to have fun with it. And I also asked this sort of tricky question in the art community. I was like, what do you want people to take away from it? Some artists have like a straightforward message they want people to have the minute they see the piece, and then they walk away and they go home and think about it. Some pieces are more, contemplative. Everyone takes away something different. And she responded that she wanted people to see the world as beautiful and sad and hilarious. And I think she definitely accomplished that. Thank you for listening to my presentation about Emily Ann Peacock. Have a great day, y'all.